Hi, this is Joe again with another review. I should say another video, because for this video I'm going to be forwarding to my Big Six Towers Facebook page. So those of you who use my subscribers on YouTube, I'm using my subscribers on YouTube, and it's not going to be my usual video because it's going to be something important that I'm going to be talking about for my Big Six Towers shareholders page. It's just easier for me to upload it to YouTube and then link it to Facebook. So it's easy for me to do it this way because it's probably going to be a long video, and it's easier for me to upload to YouTube than it is to upload straight to Facebook. Because Facebook is a limit on how long a video I could upload straight to them. So it's easy to do it this way. So this is going to be for my Big Six Tower shareholders page on an issue that I feel that it's been a long time coming for me to review this. I'm going to get into why or discuss this. Previously, a year ago, last July actually, I posted a video plus a long-winded post about an incident between myself and Howard Geary. Now, of course, now I could finally talk about it because I was under a judge's order, or protection order, which was expired just yesterday on June 16th and expired. So today is, of course, June 17th, so now I am free to officially talk about this. What happened was last July 7th actually, I got into a shoving match with Howard, and I knocked him down. And a brief review of what happened. Those of you who didn't see the post or wasn't on the page then, what happened was in the H line in Building 3, there was no water for about half an hour. And I'm going to briefly explain what happened. So I first complained to management why there's no water. At first they didn't know anything about it, and then later on, when I physically went down to the office, they told me, our maintenance had to shut it down for emergency repair, and they didn't update the office about it. So it goes forward the information to the people who were affected. So, and then I physically went over to maintenance shop. I wasn't even in the maintenance shop, I was outside the shop, and Haskell, who was since been fired not too long after this, told me what had happened and the compensation, right? Well, Howard was sitting there on a little bench just outside the shop, and he actually spoke like this. And said, "When did you go into management? When did you go into management? You know, like a baby, right? Pretty much, or like a 4-year-old kid would act. As a matter of fact, there's an insult of 4-year-olds. So what happened was, I said to him, in not so polite terms, "Why are you buying into my business? Are you the super, or is Haskell the super?" And he says, "Haskell is." I said, "Right." So I'm asking him. I'm not asking you. "And why are you buying into our conversation anyway?" So he said to him to mind his own business, to shut up and mind his own business. When I got in my face, I told him to get out of my face. I told him twice. Each time he got even closer to me, inviting my personal space even more. So he said to him on the third time, "If you don't, get out of my face, I'm going to push you out of my face." And he got even closer to me. So he said, "Okay, you asked for it," and I just shoved him out of my way, and pushed him out of my way. And so, of course, he knocked him out. He wasn't even hurt. I mean, he was up on his feet in less than 5 seconds. Is it the best thing I ever did? No, but it was a necessary thing because I told him to get away from me, and he refused to do so. So what are you guys going to do in that situation? If I was in your face and refused to move, of course I expect you to either hit me or shove me or something. And that's what I did too. I even warned him I was going to do it, and I did. So he threatened to make sure that I have to face, criminal charges or criminal history, on arrest history because of this. And he's going to do whatever he could to make sure that I was arrested. Well, but 4 hours later, or 4 hours after this incident, two cops from the 108 precinct came to my door, and they wanted to know my side of the story. Well, I told them exactly as they told here, exactly what happened, and they pretty much let it go. They pretty much let me off with a warning, to stay away from each other. And they said, I'm willing to do that if Howard's willing to do that. But unfortunately, I know that Howard's not going to do that because he likes to follow me around. He's my own personal stalker, and he likes to follow me around the co-op. And he reports to management where I am, because Howard's got to know where I am, what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, who I'm doing it with, and he constantly reports about my activities here in Big Six Towers, which is a hell of a lot. I mean, Al Capone had more rights than I had, and I have here in Big. If Al Capone was alive today, he would have more rights here in Big Six than I do. That's how I was treated by Howard, and unfortunately, a lot of shareholders feel the same way. And hopefully, I get into that a little bit later. Hopefully, if I remember to get back to it. So what happened was the cops didn't arrest me on the spot. So I figured, okay, dodge the bullet. I'm not going to get arrested. I could maybe relax a little bit. Well, everything was fine until August 26th. Almost 2 months later, I was actually arrested for, which I didn't even know until about like 14 hours later, or 15 hours later. I was arrested. About three officers from the warrant squad came knocking on my door about 7 o'clock in the morning. Says, "Come with us." I said, "Why?" And they didn't even tell me why. They told my father why, but they didn't tell me why. So they brought me down. They actually handcuffed me, put me in an unmarked car, an SUV actually. They drove me to the 108 precinct, did the whole perp walk thing and everything else. Put me in an interrogation room in the precinct, and the arresting officer, who I'm not going to say who the name is because I don't want anybody to harass this guy, he told me two things. One, that the charge was bullshit. And there's a direct quote from him. And the second thing was that I would not have been arrested if Howard didn't call the precinct every single day for over a month. And when the officers said that to me, I wasn't surprised that he did that. You're not surprising me. You're not shocking me with that. And the officer was stunned. He went like that. He was taken aback when he said it. I said, why? Because that's something that he would do. And something that Howard would do is call the precinct every day to make sure that I'm arrested, because he threatened to do so. I said, he actually threatened to do so? I said, yeah, he actually threatened to make sure that I have an arrest record. And even the arresting officer never told me what I was being charged with. I was never read my rights. I was never told I was never charged I was never told what I was being arrested for. I was never read my rights either. And I want to point that out. So I was there at the 108 precinct from just before 9 o'clock in the morning to about 6:30 in the evening. I was there for that long. And then I was there the whole time without really eating anything. I was about maybe 11 o'clock in the morning and said, look, I have to eat something. And it's because I told the officers, look, I'm diabetic, I have to eat something. Because otherwise you're going to go into a diabetic shock and I'm going to pass out if I don't want to eat anything. Because my sugar's going to drop and then, I'm going to be in trouble. So the arresting officer was nice enough to go over, like across the street or to a local deli or something, and give me a sandwich for lunch. And it was nice enough to do it. But I was there till 6:30 in the evening, and didn't have any dinner. And just had the lousy sandwich about 11 or 11:30 in the morning, and now like 7 hours later, and I haven't eaten anything for dinner. And I was taken to the courthouse at Q Orange for an hour. It took us an hour to get there because of traffic. And I was there from about 7:30 in the evening to about 12:30 at night. I was there for another 5 hours, and they finally got up. I think it was like just after midnight. They were like 12:15 or 12:20. I finally saw the judge. It was Remain, and it wasn't until about just after 11 o'clock at night when I finally met a court-appointed attorney, and she told me what I was finally being arrested for. At that point I was in custody for about just over 14 hours in custody, and then I was finally told what I was being arrested for. I told her that was the first time I heard what I was being arrested for. She said, "You're kidding." I said, "No." I said, "Nobody told me anything. Nobody told me what I was in here for. And nobody read me my rights either." So the lawyer wrote all this stuff down. Of course, Howard got a protection order. So as of August 20, well, technically it was August 27th at this point. It was after midnight at that already. From then on to yesterday, Howard had a protection order against me. And I couldn't go on line, I couldn't go on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or anything else and talk about this until after yesterday. So after June 16th, then I'm free to talk about it. Which is what I'm doing this video for, because I finally was able to talk about this. So what happened was, I was actually charged with a felony assault. And he spoke with another attorney, a civil attorney, and he couldn't believe that I was charged with a felony assault. And I said, "Wait a minute, you went after this guy with a weapon?" And he said, "There's no weapons involved." And just pushed him with an open hand, with both hands, open hands. There's nothing in my hands at all. And he says, "And you were charged with a felony?" And I said, "Yeah, because of Howard's age, was like over 70 years old. So I was charged with a felony for assaulting an elderly citizen because Howard couldn't think of anything else to arrest me for. So I was charged with that. I got a knockdown. I got a virtual hearing because of the virus, everything has to be virtual. I had to do it on the computer, a hearing over the computer. And what happened was, it was knocked down from an assault 2 to an assault 3, and now everything, according to what the judge says, judge's order, everything else, and as of July 16th, everything will be expunged. My record free and clear. As of yesterday is the last day of the protection order and the whole thing. So now I'm doing this a day after everything has expired. So now everything's expired. Now I can talk about this, and that's why I really couldn't go after or to talk about Howard Geary on the page, asking people not to vote for him. What happened was I had to, do it a different way, make sure it kept Howard's name out of it, which I did, and so he got voted out. Thankfully, he got voted out, and he voted at the time. I want to thank everybody who voted the way the results came in. We elected two people who had never been on the board before, which I'm glad of. I wish was one of them. To tell you the truth, that's why I didn't run for the board in 2021, because I didn't know if I was going to be in jail or not. Because of this whole situation. Because Howard kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and he was pushing everybody to make sure that I was arrested. And the biggest joke of the whole thing was I couldn't go within 100 yards of Building 1. I mean, that's what Howard lives in Building 1. I couldn't go within 100 yards of Building 1, but it was okay for Howard to come into Building 3 on numerous occasions. I may actually lost count how many times he came into Building 3. Either he hung out in the lobby, or he sat of Building 3, or he sat out in front on those two benches that was made for people waiting for the kids for the school bus in the afternoon. He was sitting there, and was hanging out in front of the building, he was hanging inside the building. It's okay for him to do that stuff. But it wasn't okay for me to go over to building one, because this whole idea of him instigating all this stuff with me. And to be honest with all you guys, the only reason why he was doing all this crazy crap was because he just didn't like the fact that I was in the maintenance shop. Period. And before I go any further, before anybody makes any comments, all shareholders and residents of Big Six Towers at one time or another could go into the maintenance shop if they need something for maintenance. Right? If they need to hire, let's say, Gustavo for a painting job, or one of the other maintenance men who does jobs on the side, and you can go over there and you can talk to him, or you can hire him, or ask them for a proposal for whatever personal job you want to have done in your apartment or something else. You can go over there, and it's no big deal. People have been doing this for 60 years, since Big Six Towers was built, okay? People have been going in and out of the maintenance shop all the time in terms of shareholders. For some reason, Howard had a bug up his nose about not only myself, but other shareholders who were going into building one. As usual. So it's okay for Howard to hang out in the shop, but it's not okay for someone else to go in there and ask maintenance for something, or ask Tino or Mr. Woods was here, or Haskell for something, or ask or complain as to, oh, hey, I made a work order yesterday, nobody came up. To do those types of things. Howard was everybody out of the shop except for him. He's the only shareholder who's allowed to go in and out of the maintenance shop at will, which is ridiculous. And if you're a shareholder here, you can go in. I even told the lawyer that, and the cops thought it was stupid. And when he spoke to the arresting officer, I said he banned everybody from going into the maintenance shop. I said, Mr. Raymond, you live there, right? And the cop asked me, you live there, right? I said, yeah, of course I live there. I said, just live in a different building than he does. But I have every right. It doesn't matter which building you live in the co-op, you have a right to go into the into the shop if you need something. But Howard just didn't care. It's the rules for thee and not for me. That's it. That's it. Rules for everybody except for him. So naturally, of course, when I'm making a stink over, and he was trying to work the system to make sure that I don't go into the shop. When we had Douglas Elliman here as a management company, and we had David Becker here as a manager, he pretty much bullied David. He pretty much bullied David Becker to write up a letter saying if I step foot in the management office in the maintenance shop again, I'll be arrested for trespassing. And I told the cops this, and they pulled this, and the cops couldn't believe what the hell was going on. That Howard was trying to manipulate everybody, pretty much, to get his way. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing with me. That's what he did with other people, and that's how he was able to get elected a bunch of times. Thankfully, he lost the previous election, which we're going to get into it. Hopefully, get into it in this video. That's what he's trying to do, and now hopefully, thankfully, everything is finished. As far as the court is concerned, it's finished. Now, on more personal note, I know there was a post at the time I was arrested, or a couple of weeks afterwards, that somebody had posted on the page that I was arrested for being a pervert. First of all, to the person who wrote it, the only pervert around here is you. For even writing that, I'm not a pervert at all. I never touched any kids. I don't hang out with the kids. I'm not a pervert, pedophile, kid toucher, child molester, or any other crap. Because I'm sure if you look for my name on any of these child registry websites, my name's not there. And the reason why my name is not there is because I've never ever been arrested for being a child molester. And one more thing on that. The next time anybody ever calls me a pervert or a pedophile on this page, on the Big Six Tower shareholders page, the person is going to be removed permanently. Anybody who's calling me a pervert or a pedophile or any of that, you're going to be removed permanently. That's your only warning you're going to get. Alright? I was arrested because of what happened with Howard, not for anything else. Alright? Howard always said to me, especially in his election video that came out last October, that's September, October. It's always demanding that I do my research. Okay, why don't you guys do your own research, and before you jump down my throat and calling me a pervert and a pedophile? Okay? Because I'm not. Because I'm not sexually interested in kids. Just not. And anybody who knows me knows it's not that's the case. That I'm not interested in kids. I'm not sexually interested in children. And if you continue writing posts like that, you're going to be gone off the page. You're going to be gone. And not only that, well, you could face charges for me. Okay? And that's telling you that right now to cut the garbage and the pervert stuff. Because you guys are going to be the ones who are going to be in trouble if you keep posting on Facebook saying that I'm a pervert. Okay? I'm just saying it right now. Let's see what else I want to discuss before I close this video. One thing that I got a kick out of was when, even though I told people face to face what had happened between Howard and I, Howard did end up losing the election, which was a good thing, and which at the time I thank people for doing the right thing and not voting for this guy. But I still laugh when he has the election video up on the Big Six website. He said, "Oh, that he doesn't look over the bill." I think that comment alone, despite what what he did to me, had me arrested. Falsely with a malicious prosecution case. I could, what I don't want to say what I'm planning on right now until it's official. I'm not going to say anything further. But it's his job. It's Howard Gibby's job to look when he was a treasurer he was on the board for how many years was it? 7 years he was on the board total altogether. For all those 7 years, he didn't look at one bill. And he was a treasurer. For all the 7 years he was on the board of directors, he was a treasurer. It was his job to look over the bills. I'm not saying paying all the bills. That's technically it was management's job. But what his job is to, as a board treasurer, no matter who the treasurer is, doesn't matter who it is. And now I think it's Mary something. I forgot. Sorry, that's my phone barking. I forgot what her last name is. I think it's Mary. I don't want to butcher her last name, so I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the last name because I'm afraid I will butcher it. I'm afraid I will mispronounce the last name. And I don't want to be disrespectful to her. But what her job is as a treasurer is to overlook the bills. Is to make sure that all the money that the board, that management pays every single month, until like for water, for the power plant issues, or for the scaffolding that's up now, or to pay for some of the repairs that has to go on here. The maintenance issues, the plumbing issues, the water. I guess water is with the plumbing, with the power plant, with the scaffolding, with the local law 11 work. She's supposed to make sure, it's her job to make sure that the money the management is paying out is on the up and up. And when Howard was on the board for the 7 years he was on the board, he did not do that. Because it's more important for him to know where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm posting online, where I'm doing it, and all this other stupid nonsense. Excuse me. It's more important for him to know where I am, what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, who I'm doing it with, than overlooking the bills and doing his financial duties to his co-op. That's as soon as he got elected to our board, that is his priority. Especially if his job is the board treasurer. That was his job. Unfortunately, it's more important to know where I am than look over the bills. And because of him, okay, we had to spend, at least in my case, because I live in a 3-bedroom apartment, we had to spend an extra $60 a month for 6 months because of the water bill. Because if you want me to be fair about that, that the year that he got elected was the year that this whole thing started with the water bill. Fine. But the majority of the time that we were being undercharged for the water usage was under Howard's watch. And he didn't know what's going on. And the reason why he didn't know what was going on, because he was too busy watching where I am. Or having me followed by public safety. Because that was also what's going on too. I had public safety following me around. Now instead of, like Roy Littman posts all the time, instead of walking around the co-op and finding out if any shenanigans is going on within a co-op, they were guarding me, making sure I don't go into the maintenance shop. Because that was more important to Howard and the public safety than to actually protect this co-op from crime. But people breaking into co-ops, stealing stealing parts, whatever the part was that the people were stealing from cars, or people stealing cars altogether. Instead of concentrating on that, they were concentrating making sure that I don't go into the shop. And Geo, for public safety, was actually videotaping me, going in and out of the shop and saying, "Oh, it's now," and he was talking to his phone as he was videotaping me with a cell phone, saying, "Oh, it's now 2:00 p.m. and Joe Gutfeld's in the maintenance shop again." It was doing all that. It was doing all that, and of course there was a video that if you look for it on the page, or if you look for it on my YouTube channel, you eventually will find it. That me videotaping Geo, videotaping me. Okay, that's the type of nonsense that Howard was doing, during his time as a board member, and that's why I kept urging people to please don't vote for him. And I'm telling you right now, even though we're in mid-June, we're about at least 3 months away from knowing who's going to be running for the board or not this year. There's no question about that Howard Gary's going to be running again for the board. So I'm saying right now, day after everything expired, the protection order expired, so please don't vote for this guy. Because he cost you well, it depends on how big your apartment is. For as much as $60, for as low as, I don't know what the smallest amount is for like a 1-bedroom or studio apartment was for the water bill. But if he costs you that, it's going to cost you even more if he's back on the board. And I'm just glad that he's not on the board anymore. And at least for a year, he's not on the board. And hopefully this October, how his little buddy Kevin Doyle will no longer be on the board either. Because I definitely want him out as well, for the same reason, almost pretty much the same reasons as I want Howard Gary out. Or at least get these two guys out. Because of these two guys, we don't have anything. We keep losing because these two guys have cost us more money, and they're tenure on the board. Howard 7 years and Kevin 9 years on the board. And I think it's enough. I think John Galuli got it right in the last meeting he had. Excuse me, the info meeting he had recently. And he had a couple weeks ago. He got it right. We need newer people on the board. We need younger people. We need people who care for the co-op. Hey, you had me on the ballot for 4 years. 4 of the last 5 years, you had a choice to vote for me onto the board, and you didn't take advantage of the opportunity. The most votes I had was 145. 165 votes 1 year. That's it. That was the most I ever had in 1 year. It was 165 votes. That's it. And the last 3 years, times I ran for the board, I was the only candidate not to get at least 200 votes. Everybody got 200 votes except for me. And I know the majority of you are saying a message that you don't want me on the board. Because either I don't have the right experience for you guys, or all this pervert crap that has gone on, which I already addressed earlier, or you don't like that I'm too brash, or you don't like it that I actually have a brain in my head, and because when people, I think one of the first questions that I was asked when I first ran for the board back in 2017 was, will you respect your fellow shareholders if you're elected? And he said, well, respect works both ways. And he said, if you want me to respect you, you have to respect me as well. And he saw a lot of people, especially in the first couple of rows, going like this. Yeah, good thing, good answer, good answer. And people actually going, that's a good answer, that's a good answer. And it's because it's true. It's a respect. I don't automatically give out respect because you have to earn my respect for me to give it. And the one way you don't earn it is if you get in my face over something stupid, like feeding the squirrels, or not wearing the mask, or any of the other stuff. Because I actually had my I have to mention this. I actually had my life threatened by a shareholder who lives in Building 3. I don't know his name anyway, so either way, I'm not going to mention this guy's name anyway. But even if I knew his name, I'm not going to mention it. But he actually threatened my life because I really didn't have a mask on. And I was outside in the street. It wasn't even in the elevator. And he also threatened me in the elevator. As well. So we were falling away from each other. I mean, we were more than 6 feet away from each other, and he threatened me over the stupid mask thing. But I'm telling you now, he wasn't wearing his stupid mask, and he had a hell of a lot of nerve to yell and scream and threaten me about the mask thing. Remember, he doesn't wear it. Remember, he wasn't wearing it. This, part of the hypocritical stuff that I'm talking about. It's okay for people to attack me for stupid stuff, like like the squirrel. The squirrel thing is not porn. I don't feed the pigeons. I know there's been posts about the pigeons. I don't feed the pigeons at all. But I know this video is getting long. It's over 34 minutes already. But I don't feed the pigeons at all. I know some people implied that I was. I really not. I really haven't. So that's a bunch of baloney right there. And so getting back to that question about respecting your shareholders, why should I respect somebody who doesn't respect me? Who gets it? Of shareholders who get in my face, who yell and scream and carry on and throw a fit if I've done something that rubs them the wrong way. You know what I mean? I mean, why should I respect someone like that? And when I answer back, answer them back, they get offended. But it's okay for them. It's like it's okay for someone to attack me for what I believe in, or for what I'm doing, or that because I refuse to wear a mask, it's okay to attack me over it, or because I happen to feed a squirrel, or my sister feeds a sparrow. You're not pitching the sparrows. We get attacked over that. I mean that's okay, right? But if we answer back, oh, you're being disrespectful. You're being disrespectful, Joe. You're being disrespectful. Yeah, but you're the one who's attacking me in the first place. It's like I don't have a right to defend myself. It's like I don't have a right to defend myself here. If someone attacks me, I don't have. It's okay for someone to attack me. It's not okay for me to attack them. And when this question was asked in the first candidates night, meaning when I ran for the board, was why should I respect someone who doesn't have any respect for me? Respect is a two-way street here. If you respect me, if you respect the system, if you respect the board, if you respect this forum, of course I'm going to respect you. But if your life's mission is to attack me for everything I do, there's no way I'm going to respect you. There's no way in the world. If you attack me for every little thing that I do that bothers you, then you don't have any respect for anybody, no matter who it is. Because if you get your nose bent out of joint for what I do, or what my sister does, or whatever, you don't have any respect for anybody. You just don't. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but that's true. It's true. I mean, why should I respect someone who doesn't have any respect for me? And that's why I feel about how he doesn't have any respect for anybody within the whole co-op, and he does what he can to make sure because he throws, for lack of a better term, a tantrum every time he doesn't get his way. And that's what he did with me by calling the cops every single day for over a month to make sure that I'm arrested, to make sure I have a criminal history, make sure I have an arrest history. Even though now, with the court, everything will be expunged. Now, according to the judge's order, everything will be expunged. And as of yesterday, everything expires. As of yesterday, on June 16th, everything expires. So now I'm free to talk about this, talk about the situation. And I hope that you all understand what happened. Okay, I can understand if those of you who disagree with me about what happened, they shouldn't have pushed them and stuff like that. All I have to ask you, for those of you who disagree with me, right? And I'm not going to get mad at those of you who disagree with me. Okay, I want to ask you this question: if someone is in your face, refuses to move, and you ask them to move out to get out of your face, and if that person refuses to move, you're perfectly within your right to defend yourself. Okay? And that's what I did in this situation. I defended myself against this guy. And unfortunately, because Howard threw pretty much a tantrum over it for a better part of a month, over a month, he had me arrested for it. And people, I know the times that I ran for the board here, people have said to me that I don't have the temperament to run for the board. Well, how about, at least I never had any of my fellow shareholders arrested for anything. Unlike what Howard did. Howard threw a tantrum. Howard threw a fit. Okay? And because the police originally did not want to arrest me on July 7th, he threw a tantrum to the 108 precinct every day for over a month, and he had me arrested on August 26th, almost 2 months later. And that's what happened. I don't want to repeat that I was not arrested for being a pervert or pedophile or anything else. And if anybody calls me that on the Facebook page or anywhere else, you're going to be banned for life from the page. I'm going to say that right now. Like John Monroe has been banned for calling people on the page, have a mental disability. For the mentally disabled, those who post on the page. That's what I'm going to do to you if any of you ever call me a pervert or a pedophile again. That's going to be your only warning, folks. I'm sorry I have to do that. I'm sorry I have to warn people this way. But you guys are not leaving me a choice. I want to thank you all for watching this video. It's going to be a pain in the neck to upload this thing. But hopefully talk to you soon. Bye.